All right, I'm going to wait to make sure this works. Thank you for joining me this wonderful February 12th, Abraham Lincoln's birthday. Yeah, I think it's working. Oh, that was me. All right, so thanks for joining me here this afternoon or night or morning, or I don't know where you live in the world. Most of you, I think, are American, but I do have some European viewers. So today was the big day for the release of my Presidential Elections in American History latest episode, the election of 2020. I finally released it. So there were a lot of things that I left out. So I just wanted to definitely address some of those things. My hair is combed. Mrs. Beat combed it. She made me comb it. She's like, it's a special occasion. It's a special day. Yeah, but I am excited. This was a long time coming. Thank you for all of your support, especially like since 2016. I mean, I can't believe how many people have actually watched this series. Like, it's the first series that I made for my channel that started to gain some traction, and my channel has grown a lot since I made the series originally. I released the election of 2016 video it was actually a few days before President Trump's inauguration. So I released it earlier than I released the election of 2020 video. But I've really been struggling with this because I know this is a very turbulent time in American history. As I said in the video, I think that we are more divided now than we ever have been since the Civil War. And I meant it. It's true. I've thought a lot about this. I choose my words carefully. So I didn't want to, first and foremost, upset all of the Trump supporters, some who are subscribers to this channel. I've already got a little bit of flack because of Trump supporters who thought I was too hard on Trump in this video. I try to be as fair as possible. I try to be as non-biased as possible, but all of us are biased. We cannot escape our own bias. And so I think it can be tricky. I did have a Patreon supporter. And by the way, thank you for all the new Patreon supporters. A lot of you donated $1 just to try to see the video early. You're supposed to just like donate on Patreon to support my channel, not to see videos early. So, but yeah, like I do appreciate all the new support on Patreon. But I did have one Patreon supporter in particular, and he had a really well thought out comment, and it really got me thinking that perhaps I should have waited longer before I released this. I was kind of in a weird position because I wanted to release it, not too long after, because I felt like there was a little bit of momentum that would have been lost. But also I got so many people like every video saying, Mr. Beat, when are you going to release the 2020 election video? And so I did get a lot of pressure. Okay, search. Thanks, Angel, for the donation. I'm not sure what that means. Oh yes, that song. I saw it on Reddit. That's awesome. Yeah, search it up. But anyway, so I got a lot of pressure from subscribers and just people in general. When are you going to make it? When are you going to make it? So I did feel like I did have to make it sooner than later. My Patreon supporter, who by the way is no longer supporting me on Patreon, I think I upset him. But I just responded. I said, hey, a lot of people want to see this now, and I feel like maybe this will help with the healing process. Maybe we can move on with, with the election being behind us, and try to like actually reform the country and try to unite. That was my original intention. Oh, thanks. The gaming and movies. What states would you have won if you were running for president? Maybe Kansas, since I live here. Anyway, so this video is just meant to be like addressing all the things I left out. I think a lot of us have current events bias. That's what I'm now calling it. It's like we think that the times that we're living in right now are the most important times in history. Like we just assume that, oh man, what a crazy time to be alive. I can't believe, I'm going to tell my grandkids all about this. And yeah, 2020, 2021, these are definitely, I would say, exceptional times, but still, you got to think of the full context. I mean, even in American history, there were other periods that were more turbulent. I mean, even like 1968 to 1969, I would argue was a much more turbulent time in American history. We were less divided, but there's just a lot more going on. So I think current events bias is perhaps clouding some of your judgment. A lot of you were assuming this was going to be like a 30-minute or 45-minute long video. Only one person I saw said, hey, it was a little longer than I expected. But yeah, this was the second longest election video I've ever made. The first longest was the 2016 election. You got to remember that was also a crazy election. And I also kind of, again, dealt with current events bias back then because I had a lot of people that were anticipating that one. Not nearly as many as this one. Thanks, D-Rec Vibes. Hey, Mr. Beat, nice hair. And also, I'm very happy to be supporting on Patreon. You're worth every penny. Oh, thank you. Thanks for the super chat as well. Yeah, I mean, we'll see if this sticks around. Okay, so what else? I took down some notes. I've been looking at the comments. First of all, thanks for all the lovely comments. It's really kind of you to say that, you were impressed. And I mean, because I'm very critical of myself, and I put a lot of pressure on myself. I tweeted that I was pretty nervous about releasing this, and that was the truth. I was nervous. Lycon Rock Games says thoughts on expanding the Supreme Court. I think it would have to be a bipartisan thing. If you expand the Supreme Court, you're going to have to allow conservatives to get their people on as well at the same time. That's the only way I think it could work. I think it makes more sense. The country has grown, so we should have more representation in all three branches of government, in my opinion. All right. Thanks, William. Critical hit. Okay, so I took some notes here. First of all, I mean, just some basic things. I didn't say in the video that President Biden was the first to win in a presidential election without winning Ohio since JFK won way back in 1960. So all the way from 1960 to 2016, whoever Ohio voted for won the election, and that changed with 2020. Also, Florida. This was the first time since 1992 that the Florida winner didn't also win the general election. Biden was the first Democratic candidate to win since Bill Clinton in 1992. The first Democrat to win since Bill Clinton in 1996 in Arizona. Harris was she's not only the first female vice president, she is also the first Indian American and African American president. However, somebody said person of color. I don't know if that's technically true because Charles Curtis was a Native American. He was vice president, 100 years ago. People forget about Charles Curtis. Check out Useful Charts video about him, by the way. All right, I'll try to keep up with super chats. I apologize if I miss any. No one mentioned Pennsylvania, though. Usually Pennsylvania determines the winner as well. If you look at most elections, not just since 1960, going back way back, Pennsylvania is, I would say, a better predictor of who's going to win when you look at who wins Pennsylvania. And Biden did win Pennsylvania. That was a big win for him, obviously. Okay, other things. Now, I had a lot of salty Trump supporters in the comments. I don't want anyone to be mean to, people who are salty. Like, I understand, like the wounds are still healing. This was a tough loss for supporters of Trump, because, I mean, you got to look at just how passionate his supporters are. When I said cult-like in the video, I was very careful with that. I didn't mean it like, I meant more like a cult of personality. The only other comparison I have in American history is that to maybe John F. Kennedy, maybe Theodore Roosevelt a little bit, or Franklin Roosevelt. You just don't see it too many times with presidents. Like, there are not that many people excited about President Biden. Like, there's very few. Most people who voted for Biden were voting against Trump. That's a really important thing to remember. And all of the folks who were so surprised about this election, I think I noticed a pattern. Like, frankly, it was folks who kind of, you could tell they stayed in their echo chambers. They didn't get out of their echo chambers very much. They didn't go to very many different types of sources for information, for news. You've got to go to sites like News Voice or All Sides or Ground News. I mean, these places will expose you to so many different perspectives on the political spectrum. And I mean, I saw the same thing in 2016. People that voted for Hillary Clinton were just in shock. How could Trump win? Well, you weren't paying attention. You weren't looking at the rallies. Like, Trump had way bigger numbers than Hillary Clinton did in the rallies. Okay, I got a couple more super chats. Oh crap. I see you're a fan of Beavis and Butthead. Yes, a big fan of I'm a huge fan of Beavis and Butthead. Yes, and Mike Judge in general. Thanks for the super chat. Vanilla Ike says, good job. Do you think the Senate should switch to the MMP, another method, or do you think the Senate is mostly fine as it is? I think the Senate is actually mostly fine as it is. The Senate, is there to represent the states. I think it should be smaller, and those positions should be much more coveted, and or they should be a little bit more isolated from the people. Frankly, I know that sounds a little bit snobbish of me, but I'm going to make some folks mad by saying that. But I think the House of Representatives should be the house that's more directly connected with people, and you should expand the number of representatives and in the House. And check out my amendments video, by the way. I'm curious if you haven't seen that, because I know those are some of my proposed amendments are out there. But okay, what else? But yeah, kind of back to more Trump supporters. That most Trump supporters were not cult-like, actually. They were just voting for the side they thought was less bad. Most elections in recent American history are a lesser of two evils. I get that. Because usually I complain about both major candidates as well. But as far as there's a new dynamic this election, you definitely, I think with QAnon, which I did not mention in the video, and other like-minded groups, you saw a bit of, I would say, mass delusion. I don't say that in like a hateful way. I mean, these are good people. Many of them are friends and family, and I've seen it firsthand. Like, you got to remember, I'm in Kansas. I'm right in red country. I teach in red country. Most of my students are Trump supporters. And I see them. I try to talk to them about, okay, tell me about this widespread election fraud. And time again, I'm led to dead ends for evidence. I'm trying to keep an open mind, but ultimately the evidence is hearsay. Oh, but there's affidavits. No, they haven't said it in court. And the same reason why I do not believe there was widespread voter fraud, well, one of the main reasons why I do not believe there was widespread voter fraud for the 2020 election is the same reason why I don't believe that Bigfoot is real. We have plenty of people who have claimed to have seen Bigfoot firsthand. We've never actually seen a body of Bigfoot. At some point, you have to just say, there's not enough evidence for Bigfoot. There's not enough evidence for widespread voting fraud. Voting fraud occurred. Actually, it occurred more with people trying to cheat on behalf of Trump versus Biden. So from what I've seen, if you look at the late 1800s, like the elections of the 1870s, 1880s, oh man, way more voter fraud going on, especially in southern states. You don't even understand. That's why, like, they brought in the secret ballot. Like, oh my gosh, like, total lack of understanding of American history. If you think that 2020 was the worst election for fraud ever, you need to open up a history book, read about elections from the 1800s. Okay, this was one of the most secure elections in American history. And frankly, I'm tired of it. If you are saying this stuff, you are wrong. You have no evidence on your side. You might as well be, unicorns are real. Okay, you're living in a fantasy land. And so I say that not as a fan of Biden, it's not a partisan thing to state facts. And when people say that my video was biased, I tried really hard not to be biased. Sometimes just listing facts, sometimes saying facts can seem biased because it makes your team look bad. I get it that there's certain things I left out. It was hard to determine what I should leave out. I didn't want it I did end up cutting out a lot because I didn't want it to drag on and on. These are supposed to be just brief explainer videos. So it's impossible to be completely 100% objective, but at least I tried. And if you say the president did something, like for example, I in the video, I said he lied more than most other politicians. This is factually true. Doesn't matter that he lied so much. I don't know that most politicians do lie, but I think he did lie more than most. What's up? What else? Somebody was complaining, multiple people were complaining that I was too hard on him with the pandemic. Well, he was slow to respond compared to other world leaders. It's the United Kingdom also did horribly responding to the pandemic. And it wasn't just Trump. It was Congress was bad. A lot of members of Congress, governors were bad. Look at Gavin Newsom in California. He's been struggling. He's been hypocritical. It's not just a Republican Democrat thing. A lot of our leaders in this country have failed us in response to the pandemic. I'll get some super chats, I think. Sorry if I missed any. Uranium flavored donut, great name. Thank you for the donation. Do you think if COVID-19 ever happened, Trump would be reelected? Yes, I think he probably would have been reelected. The more I thought about it, it was like, yeah, because if you look at economic indicators before COVID-19, wages were still stagnant fairly, but they were ticking up. There was at least a glimmer of hope. The rich were still getting richer, of course, but I think there was just a little bit of hope with the economy that I think Trump would have been able to, because a lot of people don't care anymore about the Trump character flaws. Character flaws aren't a big deal anymore, I think that's a good development. I think we should be more lenient on that because nobody's perfect. Good question. Idan Nimirovsky, thank you from Canada. Hey, Mr. B, what's your favorite biography of a president, founding father? Currently reading Team of Rivals by Goodwin and Hamilton by Chernow. Yeah, those are two obviously very popular biographies about presidents and a founding father. I always reference This is a book I always reference because Truman by David McCullough. I used to not be a Truman fan much, but this literally changed my mind about him when I read it. So I always say this is a good one. It's big, but it's worth the read. He's a good storyteller. But yes, let's see, what else? What else did I forget in my 2020 election video? A lot, obviously. I didn't mention Kanye. Kanye West did not get enough votes. He barely got like 60,000 votes. He wasn't even on the ballot in most states. So, let's see. Oh yeah, but back to, okay, and then which candidates do I mention? Like I didn't mention Mike Gravel. I mentioned Mike Gravel in 2008. I didn't mention him in 2020. I probably should have, I guess, because it was an interesting kind of, but at the same time, I think I did I didn't want it to carry. I already mentioned so many candidates was the problem. I mentioned Tulsi Gabbard only because she actually won delegates. Surprisingly, she stuck around long enough to. And yeah, I was biased towards her too. I kind of liked her as a candidate. Will the George Pirate Vote Pirate 20. Hey, the Pirate Party. Is this the same guy that introduced me to the Pirate Party? Thanks for the donation. Will the unpopularity and disdain the left has of the DNC topple with the idea that this election was, quote, Trump versus not Trump? Do you think third-party success is coming? Are we too far gone? The only way that I see that third-party success is coming is if you get a figure like The Rock or Tom Hanks or maybe Oprah Winfrey or Mark Cuban or someone who is a more independent-minded candidate, but also has a lot of money or name recognition. That's the only way I see it working. Like if Trump were to run for third party, he literally could fracture the country enough through in terms of making it a three-way race. That's the only way. I mean, you just need so much name recognition and money to be competitive in a presidential election. Great questions, guys. Yeah. Like and rock games again. Thank you. Can you do a top 10 best worst House speakers or Supreme Court justices? I already plan on doing it over the next year. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm just excited kind of to move on to do more the other two branches of government more, you know, legislative branch and judicial branch, more Supreme Court briefs as well. So let's see. My grandma recently passed from COVID. Oh, I'm so sorry. And today's video made me feel a little better. Thank you. She loved the President Pets video. Thank you. I'm sorry for your loss, James. Yeah, it's tough. Mrs. Beat lost her great aunt to COVID recently, so goddamn tearing up here. Anyway, back to the election. Wait, did I get all that? All right. Yes. So I think, somebody mentioned, you know, how there's a lot of kind of people frustrated with how Bernie Sanders was treated. And I felt like I gave him sufficient time in the video, of course, but controversy about how he actually won Iowa. So that's something I didn't mention. So that was a good catch. Also, okay. Yeah. So I saw messages here about the book. Here's the thing. This is really weird. So I updated the book. In case you don't know, I have this book here. Has all my videos. I took all the scripts and I adapted it into a book. So I had to kind of reformat some things, added some pictures. And this is something I did during the lockdown way back in, because I had extra time when I was teaching online. By the way, today we had a cold day because it was below zero. So that's why we didn't have school. So I had some kind of worked out for the release day of this video. Anyway, so I updated this book, including the 2020 election. And I did it a few days ago, and I was like, okay, it might be a while before Amazon approves it and launches it. Well, as it turns out, it's already approved of, and it's live right now. So I put the link in the description of this video. You can get it if you want, but here's the deal. Here's a caveat here. I don't know if it looks okay because I haven't got a demo copy yet. So you might hold off on purchasing it because I don't know how it looks. Like I want to make sure it turned out okay. I always get like a test copy first before I promote anything. So yeah, I'm not sure if it's in, I mean, maybe somebody already bought it and they can tell me if it looks okay. All right, Crabble, thank you. Do you think Trump would have been viewed in a much better light if he didn't spend much of his presidency ranting on Twitter? Absolutely. I think most Republicans will tell you that, that he essentially, because of him, you know, more concerned with his image, I think, generally speaking, like, you know, we all know he has a big ego. He puts himself before everyone else. Because of that, though, he accidentally became this anti-establishment guy. So I think that's why a lot of people didn't really mind it, or they looked past it. They're like, oh, because he cares more about himself, he's actually like shaking up the system, and it needs to be shaken up. But yeah, I mean, I mentioned the tweets in the video about, in particular, North Korea. And that was one of I think we forget about that. It was a big deal, like him tweeting like that, because tweets can literally lead to war now. Like that's diplomacy. You're hurting relationships with other world leaders who are also volatile, like Kim Jong-un of North Korea. It's not somebody you want to probably make mad. Now, he met with Kim Jong-un later and they made up and they wrote love letters to each other, apparently. But it ended up kind of fizzling out that And so that's why I didn't mention overall that how it turned out, because we still have very poor relations with North Korea. We also still have a war on terrorism. There were people in the comments that didn't know that we still have that we're still at war. Like, President Trump has been so successful at his messaging that people don't realize that we still have military bases all over we have just as many almost as when Obama was president. We are still, the drone warfare has increased under Trump. We have troops in Africa more than we did before Trump was in office. I mean, like, we are still at war. He's not the peacetime president that I guess his administration has painted himself out to be. But it proves that, they've been very effective at messaging. Joshua, thank you for the donation. Joshua Bell, when do you estimate the Donald Trump song will come out? I like your other president songs, and I follow you on Spotify. Good work. Well, thank you. Yeah, good. Thanks for the shout out for those too. As you can see here, my keyboard's been out. I've been recording the Donald Trump song. I'm almost done recording it. I will get it on Spotify and Bandcamp and wherever, maybe SoundCloud if people still are on that site. It will drop next Friday, hopefully, because I have to make a video for it as well, obviously. But yeah, thanks. That's cool. Not a lot of people actually dig the songs, I don't think. Uranium-flavored donut again. Trump's cult of personality reminds me of Ronald Reagan's. Do you think Trump incorporated Reagan's popularism into his own campaign and administration? A little bit. I think that Reagan's cult of personality kind of developed after he was out of office. It became more of like a, like a myth building type of situation. Like, he was very popular in office, but it's not like, people were like hanging by his every word. Like I noticed that at the Trump rallies, people would hang by his every word, no matter what he said. I don't think Reagan ever quite had that. But even, like if you look at after Reagan was out of office, the legend grew. Robert, thank you for and it said something about my new haircut and then it popped out. So sorry about that. Thank you, Robert. James Ho says, who do you imagine to play Trump in his biopic? My pick was Philip Seymour Hoffman. Oh, rest in peace. I can't imagine Jonah Hill playing him in 30 years. Your opinion? Ooh, Jonah Hill. I do like that. He'd be a tough one to play. I mean, what's his name? Alec Baldwin, the guy on Saturday Night Live. I thought he actually did a decent job, but it was more, of course, a caricature of him. If you talk about somebody trying to portray him realistically, I don't know. I don't know if it's possible. Duran Delight, thank you. Once asked you what a post-Trump GOP looked like, and you said they may keep some Trump things while moving towards center. In light of recent events, do you still see that as the case? Yes. I think that Rand Paul is going to make a big push is to try to be like, hey, I'm like Trump, but I'm also reasonable. He is a skilled politician. Rand Paul knows what he's doing. Like, he's not like his dad. Ron Paul was not a skilled politician. Was horrible at politics. So I think Rand Paul might have found that balance. Other two people to watch, I think, that I just think are more like appealing across like the aisle are Nikki Haley and Ben Sasse. Ben Sasse is actually, I think, a Republican. He's from Nebraska, who just seems like he has more common sense, like style that. He's really good at communicating, I guess. And he also is more of a moderate, at least like lately. If you look at his voting record, he voted mostly with Trump. But I like him. Okay, let's see. Sorry if I missed super chats. I'm trying here. Oh, wow. Carson Paul, Aubrey Bend alum. Oh my gosh. I've been following your channel since 7th grade. Now you have 300,000 plus subs. You always made social studies interesting. Well, thank you. Yeah, heck yeah, it's always cool to see former students, and you didn't have to donate, but thank you. Glad to see you on here. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I never thought this would happen. Never thought that more than my students would watch these videos. Like, I used to have to force my students to watch my video. Actually, my students now, Carson, are still kind of mostly boarded out by my videos. So the gaming and movies again. Are you going to do a tier list on presidents again? Not for a while. I don't think I'm ready to do that. I want to reflect more and let more time pass to kind of distance, from my own bias living through this stuff. Oh, there's Jack says, love the hair, Mr. Beat. Are you going to do a president tier list? Yeah, so I just answered that. Sorry. Okay. Hopefully I didn't miss any. I think I caught up on the super chats here. As far as what else I forgot, I mean, there's a lot. Multiple people. That's why I brought it up. If I say somebody, I mean multiple people. I brought up Black Lives Matter, and I didn't bring up the fact that there were Black Lives Matter related riots. I just felt like it wasn't relevant to the election. And then, it's amazing to me how I was still getting anti-George Floyd comments. Yeah, I'm sorry. Just watch the video. Oh, power went out on that lamp. Is that a sign I need to be done here? Now let me plug it in here. Hold on. I'm here. Don't you worry. There we go. Yeah. See, I'm not wearing pajama pants. Okay. As far as other stuff, I think just in general, I'm going to get a lot of dislikes on the video because of the fact that, I did kind of make Trump look bad, but I just encourage those folks to go back and watch my old episodes and realize that they are biased. In the 1868 election video, I definitely made Andrew Johnson look bad, but I was just giving you facts. It's not like I was making stuff up about what happened, Now, could I choose to focus on the positive stuff more? Yeah. But the fact is that in 2020, life expectancy was going down since the last election. The economy was horrible. Was it the president's fault for all that? Most of it, no. You can't blame the president or give them credit for an economy usually. In terms of, we all know how we all lived through 2020, and we're living through 2021. It still sucks. These are rough times. And so how am I supposed to sugarcoat that? I think a lot of people still are in denial, not living in reality, still in their echo chambers and not wanting to face facts and just bitter, frankly. Good people, but I hope that they come around. Hopefully they can come back to the video and watch it in a few years and see if it makes more sense to them then. Because that's the thing. I think this video will hold up in a few years. If it doesn't, then I'm going to maybe take it down and redo it. The whole point of this series is that it holds up way down the road. It's not going to be perfect, but that's for future historians to decide, really, and me and the future to decide. Because, hindsight's 20/20, as they say. Hey, am I right? The gaming and movies again. Wow, thanks for all your donations today. They say, is Dwight D. Eisenhower the best president? And what are your thoughts on George W. Bush handling of the 9/11 attack? I think that, I don't know if I've said this in a live stream yet, but Dwight D. Eisenhower lately has been my favorite president. And I'm planning a big video about him. As soon as the pandemic is over, I'm going back out to, because I went there a couple years ago. I'm going back out to Abilene, Kansas, and I'm going to the museum. I'm going to interview people. It's going to be epic. The more I learn about Eisenhower, and he's from Kansas. Okay. So there's my own bias. George W. Bush handled 9/11 really well until the Iraq War. His leadership was phenomenal right after. The Patriot Act was not good. That was too far. But I think he did the right thing going into Afghanistan originally to try to find Osama bin Laden and hunt down Al Qaeda, who was responsible for 9/11. So, Kyron Roy, thank you. Who do you think will win the mayoral race in NYC? Well, you all know who I hope will win. I have no idea, though. But I am excited to see Yang run. Giwarin, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Thank you. I love your president's songs. I hope you have a great time celebrating Washington's birthday. Well, thank you. Yeah. I don't know if you don't know about my president songs. A lot of people don't know about them. And it's funny too. My band is called Electric Needle Room. People don't know that it's the same thing as just me. Like I just made those songs. But when we perform live, it's my brother and I. He plays drums, and I'll play the keyboard or guitar, occasionally trumpet. The Trump song has a trumpet. Get it? Holy crap, the Stat Kid. Is that a real number? Is that American dollars? $99.99. Thank you. Wow. I think I'm just going to retire. This has been I've never had a video do this well, y'all. The fact that it had 5,000 people watching live almost, that was just blew my mind. Me and Mrs. Beat were sitting here like, what the heck is happening? So I really appreciate all the support. Okay, well, I'm going to wrap this up soon. I will take a few more questions. Are you capitalist? I love capitalism. It's not perfect though, but I'm not a communist if that's what you're asking. Although Joe McCarthy thinks I am. What do you know about Ecuador? Not a whole lot, but it's on my list to compare to. For my compared series, who did I have it compared to? Was it Peru? Interstate Kyle, hey, and I'm going to make that interstate highway video. I haven't forgot. Thank you for the donation. He says, keep up for the great work, Mr. B. Check out Interstate Kyle's channel. Great videos about our wonderful interstate system, which was put in place by President Eisenhower. I noticed you, Michael Leon Briones. Andrus TV, thank you for the donation as well. Do you think Biden will die because of the 20-year curse? Are you talking about the Tecumseh's curse? Tecumseh's curse, is that the same curse? I'm making a video about that, by the way. Curse of Tippecanoe or Tecumseh's curse. Yeah, the 20-year presidential curse. So if that was the case, then when would Biden die? This has gotten morbid. When would he die if that was true? Suvir Venkatesh, I didn't see your question. What was your question again? Dang it. Somehow when I lose the live chat, I don't see all of them. I apologize. Yeah, so I don't think Biden is going to be more than one term. I think he's 4 years tops. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he actually resigned early. I really wouldn't. Angel Amazquita, thank you. Watch the Dame Dani video. Yes, that's me. Google it, you'll see it. Lucas Horter, thank you. What's your opinion on China sanctioning former Trump officials? I'll be honest with you. I don't know much about that. I'll have to research that. So I apologize. Moonlight Productions. Hey, I recognize you. Yeah, thank you. OMG, I forgot that it seems that both Hawaii and Alaska have highways. We should have had that in the comparison videos. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I should have. I missed that, didn't I? Intuitive Revolution, thank you. Will you ever do a video on how you will vote in every election from 1788 to 1980? Yes, I've gotten so many requests to do that. It's happening. I don't know when yet. I do want to announce that I'm doing another live stream on President's Day, which is Monday. It's my favorite holiday after maybe Christmas and Thanksgiving. But yeah, President's Day is Monday. As of right now, I have to teach that day, so it will be at night, my local time. I'm going to be interviewing TJ from the channel Dead History. He has gone around to pretty much every president grave site in the country and documented it. So he has a presentation, and we're going to do Q&A about that. All right. That'll be Monday night. Okay. Trying to make sure I didn't forget any. Eric Escobedo says, "Hi, Mr. B. Love your channel. I love them both, but just curious, what made you endorse Yang over Bernie in 2020? I just think Yang has more practical solutions, whereas Bernie was a little bit too, I think, unrealistic and then mostly just, I think, the more details I saw with Yang's plans, the more I was like, oh, this could actually work. Whereas with Sanders, it was like, I don't know if that mathematically adds up, if that makes sense. And Bernie's a capitalist. Let's be honest here. He's not. Wow, the stat kid. Did you donate again? Wow, thank you. That's crazy. Thank you so much. Cameron Barton, which presidential nominee had the most potential that lost in history? That's a great question. I really am keen on Ross Perot. I think Ross Perot had a lot of potential. Maybe William Jennings Bryan, I think, would have done a lot of good for this country. Those are the first two that pop in my head. Stumpy Stumps, thank you. AE911truth.org for questioning of the events of 9/11 from thousands of folks with engineering and architectural backgrounds. Yeah, no, let me say this. I'm making a video about 9/11. The 20th anniversary is this September. And I'm going to dive deep enough where, let's just get this out of the way. The 9/11 Commission, the report, had problems. And there's a reason why conspiracy theories are out there, first and foremost, because the investigation was not the best. And so I think there's still a lot to learn from it. I'm curious if, I don't know of any prominent historians that have done deep dives on 9/11 yet, but I would love to read books by them if that's the case. Eugene Butler, do you think cancel culture and identity politics will go anyway anytime soon? Not anytime soon. I think there's too much emphasis on those two things. They're really not that big a deal. Like, am I going to cry that a celebrity got canceled? Like, celebrities are very privileged people. Identity politics, is it a problem? Yes, it's definitely a problem. It's not helpful. But is it a problem that's as important as drones dropping bombs on children? No. So we probably should refocus on what's important. Mayor of Ohio. I remember you. Hey, thanks for the donation. What do you think the worst decision a president has ever made? For me, it's Reagan turning down the denuclearization deal with Gorbachev. Ooh, it would have been a leap toward world peace. That's a good one. That's not brought up enough. That seems like a potential video. I think there's just so many. I'd have to think deeply about that before. Maybe one that pops into my mind is Nixon signing the Controlled Substances Act, and his enforcement thereafter, and also Reagan's enforcement later on. The war on drugs has just been so damaging for our society. If you really look at everything that has been affected by it, even indirectly, it's been very damaging. All right. Would you ever make a video Intuitive Revolution again? Thank you. Would you ever make a video on the worst/best major presidential nominations? Yeah, that's another suggestion I've gotten a lot for this channel throughout the past few months. And I will definitely, It's on my list. I don't know when I'm going to get to that, but that's another great suggestion. I like that. Michael Heiskel, thank you. I just found your videos recently, and as I've been marathoning them, so good. Also, as a teacher, who is your favorite president to teach your students about? First of all, thank you, Michael, for the kind words. I think my videos are mediocre, but thank you. My favorite president to teach my students about is Andrew Jackson. I just love like going into the details of his life because they're so ridiculous. Still needs to be a movie about Andrew Jackson that's a blockbuster movie. It has not existed to my knowledge. What a fascinating character. All right. The Stat Kid again, still donating big bucks. We should collab for a video. I have no idea what your channel is, but I will check it out. I'm always open to collaborations. All right. Let's see. I think I've caught up on Super Chats. I think I've been doing this for over 45 minutes. Anything else about the 2020 election video that I left out? I think I covered, well, I mean, a lot of the stuff that I left out was like the meme stuff, although 2016 had better memes. I think the problem was that 2020 was so dominated by the COVID-19 pandemic that that it really, it was more low key than you realize compared to other elections. I think the most exciting stuff came during the ends and the beginning, meaning like the primaries and before the primaries, and then like literally all the election fraud allegations, and then with the Capitol riots, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure my 2020 election video is demonetized because of the fact that I mentioned the Capitol riots, which is pretty unbelievable when you think about it, just reporting facts. Got some more here. Thank you so much. Alex Winter, have you ever tried frozen custard? Yes, I have. It was good. Try it from Freddy's. Angel Amazkita says, show everyone the Dame need video. I can't share my screen because I'm just on the basic mode for live stream, to my knowledge. Okay. Whoops. Sending myself hey, Justin Emerson Richards, a Patreon supporter. Also, thank you for supporting me on here. What's the closest president we've had to a dictator? For me, it's a tie between Andrew Jackson, my profile picture, is that Woodrow Wilson, right? And John Adams and Richard Nixon. I think Wilson's of all those people, I would say the closest. If you asked me when I was younger, I was like, Franklin Roosevelt had dictator tendencies, but actually the more I learned about him, I was like, I guess not. I think Trump, if he was alive in a different time, I mean, I think I called him a wannabe fascist before. Like he would be all about being a dictator as long as he got adored, like he was getting attention. But Jackson's also probably a good pick. Although Jackson's more of I don't know, he's more of he was more of somebody who just wanted to stick it to powerful people. People forget that. Jim Halpert, what is the future of the Republican Party since it is fractured and has endorsed conspiracy theories? Maybe break into a third party. I think this is a real possibility between now and 2024. I do think this is something to watch because you have a lot of people in Congress who are Republicans who they give lip service to Trump supporters, but I think really they're a little afraid of them and they don't want to lose re-election. So that's why they don't want to say anything to offend them. So I think that's an interesting development you could see. All right. I'm trying to see. I'm sorry if I missed any here. Heel Razor 1, do a vid on JFK squashing the Cuban War. Okay, great suggestion. Hey, JJ, thank you. Man, JJ McCall is here in the super chat. Wow. I used some of his footage, by the way, for of Biden for the 2020 election video. Thanks, JJ. Do you ever come across pro-Trump students? The age gap in the party seems to be as vast as ever, despite the hopes of some Republicans. Yeah, I do. No, most of my students who have political views come directly from their parents, though, like both for pro-Democratic Party and both Republican Party. So yeah, I had students that would just say, Trump 2020, and then like I'd ask them like, oh yeah, why do you like Trump? And they wouldn't even give me a good reason at all. Like they would just like, I don't think they knew. I think they mainly just liked the fact that it was part of the culture, the family culture. I don't know, but definitely I teach in Trump country. That's where I teach. All right. Well, thanks, JJ. Sunflower Socialist is here. Also from Kansas. Shout out to you. Not to get off topic, but I feel compared to ask on a scale of 1 to 100, how much do you hate Tom Brady? Yeah, I hate Tom Brady quite a bit. I mean, I don't like to hate people, but I mean, he's the greatest quarterback of all time, though. I will say that. I don't like to say it, but it was a rough loss in the Super Bowl last week. You just hate to see it. Oh, well, there's always next year. Cam F1, thank you. Will Democrats impeach Biden with their new bill they want to put in service, therefore having a female president? What bill are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about, but this sounds intriguing. I would like to learn more. Interesting. Okay. All right. I wonder if I missed any. I tend to do that and I make people mad. A lot of people saying nice things. A lot of people commenting about Kanye. Yeah, I'm sorry Kanye didn't make the video. Why is James Buchanan the worst president? I wouldn't say he's the worst president anymore, honestly. He didn't make quite the worst on my list, but yeah, he's down there because of him just further his actions further divided the country. Simply put, I mean, he did the opposite of what you needed to do to keep the country together, and even though he thought at the time he wasn't, mostly though he was just a poor leader, like not always timid and taking, the opposite of James Polk, very indecisive on literally everything. And that was the gaming and movies. Again, donating. Thank you. Lost it. Good. Jim Halpert again. Thank you. Do you support eliminating the filibuster so Congress can do its job and pass laws again? I can't see any major progress with the filibuster in place. Yeah, I do support it. And Republicans are saying you're going to regret it. Well, so be. When they get power, they're going to have it. Yeah, I mean, more will get passed. I want it to be easier to amend the Constitution too. So call me crazy, but Justin Emerson Richards again. I can't stop playing Conflict of Nations, he says. Also, us San Francisco fans got sweet revenge in the Super Bowl, and I relished in it. Yeah. But that's cool. You like Conflict of Nations. That was a sponsor on one of my videos. I'm glad you actually like that, Justin. Thanks again for the donation. Alex Winter again. Do you think /hope Kansas will become a swing state? That'd be nice. That way my vote would matter more. Yeah, I would like to have more of a voice here in Kansas. Although I do already have more of a voice being from a small state. So, Okay. Interstate Kyle again. Yeah, I have many more videos I filmed throughout the last year from interstates I'll send you. Well, thank you. I still have yours saved on my Google Drive. So with possibly more coming this year. And 4K. Whoa, I don't even know if my hard drive can handle that, but thank you. Yeah, we're going to collaborate. Glad you made it here today. Okay. I said I wouldn't go longer than an hour, so I have about 6 minutes here. Any last minute questions I'll try to tackle. Favorite national park? I would have to say that I haven't been to Glacier National Park. That I have been to, maybe Rocky Mountain National Park. Compare Arkansas and Louisiana. Yeah. Thanks for the donation, Catapult X. See, all these donations are just making it up for the fact that my video is not monetized. This is unbelievable. I'm just happy that people watch my videos. I can't believe this. I get to be a teacher not only to students in real life, but like the internet. Are you concerned about the direction of the GOP? Parts of it, yes. There are bright spots of the GOP. Everyone likes to focus on the QAnon. I don't even remember their names, the congresswomen that are associated with QAnon, but that does concern me. QAnon does concern me because it ultimately is not, it's just random people in their basement that are just spreading information, and there's no evidence. They could just be making up whatever they want. So, and people fall for it because people always fall. I've fallen for these things in the past. I used to believe conspiracy theories when I was younger. So I understand why this happens. Michael Healy, thank you. How does Kansas have a Democratic governor? Well, because her opponent was Chris Kobach, who was a bit of a more out there candidate who, was a little bit too far to the right for most Kansans have moderate views, and Laura Kelly is a Democrat who's a moderate who in many ways is like a Republican. So that's why she's in my opinion, we should have more candidates like her, more boring centrists, evil centrists, radical centrists, enlightened centrists. Always taking these way out, beat. Jack Van Ascha, thank you. I said your name in a way that really made it sound probably weird. Thank you very much. Oscar B, thank you. And recommends that I compare Massachusetts and Connecticut. It's looking like I'm going to do just that because people don't want me to compare Massachusetts to Maine, apparently, which I was surprised. Oh, that's her name. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yes. She's the one from Georgia, right? What is your opinion? Now, I don't know a whole lot about her. I've seen some videos. She posted some very mean things on Facebook. It seems to me that she is, I guess, kind of has some views that are a little bit out there. She really loves guns, which is actually a pretty American thing, honestly. Oh, Lennox. Shout out to check out Lennox Anderson's channel. He's been like having all these comparison videos of like history YouTubers. I just never expected videos like that to ever exist, and he's made them exist. So check out Lennox Anderson, Lennox T. Anderson. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap things up here. Well, I love you all. Even those of you who say, Mr. Beat, you're biased and you are part of the deep state, and Mr. Beat, you rigged the election. I'm just some guy as well. So I just want to thank you for your support. Mostly, like a lot of you have been here for a while, for 4 years, which is crazy. Here's to the next presidential election. May we be more united as a country. I hope we can heal. I'm already noticing a little bit of a shift. Families starting to talk again. It's got to happen. We have to talk to each other. And, once this pandemic is over here, in a few months, it will be over, and we are going to just party and hang out. And you know what? We're not going to talk about politicians. We're going to talk about relationship stuff, like birthday parties and bar mitzvahs and baseball games, the stuff we used to talk about. Oh, I see all caps. I'm 11-year-old, so please answer my question. Do you like George Romney of Michigan, who ran for president in 1968? He is a great and hardworking, decent. Yes, George Romney was awesome. He made one of my top. Which one was that? Top governor list? Yeah, I love George Romney. Check out my best governors video. All right, and that will do it. Any other super chats that I missed? Oh, the gaming and movies. What if Hitler was president of the United States? It would suck. It would really suck. Cassia, what are your thoughts on Iowa possibly no longer being the first in the nation for future presidential election caucus primaries? Yeah, that would definitely hurt Iowa because being first for the caucus has really helped its economy. I was there back in February last year, a year ago, and you could just see it. Also, what are your thoughts on the DARE program? The DARE program did not help at all in terms of getting young folks to not use drugs. So, and thank you for the kind words and support. And the stat kid, I just can't get over the stat kid. So I'm going to have to figure out who the stat kid is, because this is mysterious and donating a lot of money to me. All right, that's going to do it. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for supporting the video. Look for the new edition of the book, the presidential election book. It's coming out soon. It may already be available if you check the link, but I still need to double check it. Oh, Mikołaj Wojciech. Hi, I'm from Poland. What do you think about media attacks and abortion protests? I'm not sure about, like a media attacks like on social media. I think that's something worth looking into for sure. Anti-abortion protests or pro-abortion protests. I don't know. I think that that's a wedge issue that is dividing our country also. Okay, wrapping things up. Don't forget to check out my TikTok, Instagram, all my social media stuff. And thank you so much for watching. And Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. Peace out.